This is a SSD enclosure and it has a screen. Well, if your keyboard or your CPU cooler can have a screen, why not your SSD? Well, today I'll be unboxing and testing out the NVMe enclosure by Dockcase, and well, we'll see if having a screen is actually useful or if it's just a gimmick. I originally found this product on Kickstarter about a year ago, but I bought it this week from Amazon, and actually I bought two of them. So there is the original M.2 which came out last year for 2230 SSDs, and there is the photography edition which came out this year, and this one features 1/4" screw holes on either side. For the prices, I actually paid £59.99 for this one, and I paid $75.99 for this one. This one in dollars is $49.99 on their website, and this one is $69.99, so about a $20 difference for the additional screw holes. I believe there is also a third version which is currently on Kickstarter featuring a MagSafe connection at the back. Let's open the box. We have the manual, the enclosure, a braided lanyard, and it's nice to see, a USB-C cable rated for 10 gigabits per second and 60 watt spare screw, and screwdriver. It's a bit hard to get actually. Okay. And that's for the content of the box. And this is it. I mean, it seems pretty solid, like it has some kind of like metal case around it. Let's see the interface. So we have the screen at the front here, a 1.33-inch IPS LCD with a resolution of 240 by 240. We have, I think it's probably the hole for the lanyard. The back, where you insert the SSD. There's already a screw in here. Nothing on the other side. At the top, there is a button. At the bottom, we have the 10 gigabit per second connection, which is used for powering the device, but also transferring data. All right, putting that aside, let's compare it with the photo edition. User manual. We have enclosure, also a lanyard, also a cable, no major difference. And this is the photography edition enclosure. So in terms of comparison, I think like different color for sure. A bit more of a darker color on the photography edition here. Same screen on the front. We have the same 10 gigabit per second USB-C connection. Really, the only difference is the 1/4" screw holes on either side. In terms of build quality, they're both metal, so not a huge difference. All right, we'll focus on the original for now. And I'll be pairing it with a 2230 SSD from Crucial. It has 1 terabyte of storage, but this device actually supports up to 2 terabytes. I don't think you can actually find a M.2 SSD of this size, which is more than 2 terabyte currently. Okay, so we have a space for the SSD here, and I think there's like a very large capacitor here. So one of the features this device has is like a power loss safety, I guess. This 3 seconds of safety is probably done with this huge capacitor here. Okay, it's in here. All right, for testing, let's get a laptop. Let's go through the user interface. At the top we have this PLP feature, which I think is referring to the 3 seconds that you have of disconnection, of like power loss protection. You have information on the SSD inside of your enclosure, which for me is 1 terabyte. You have a health check on the SSD inside your enclosure. Then at the bottom, information on the transfer speed. At the top you have the temperature and a status of your SSD. So let's click through the button and see if there's different menus. Single press doesn't do anything. Double pressing seems to be rotating the screen. And then long press, you will see a menu at the bottom, and if you keep pressing, you'll be able to go through different menu items. So if you long press on the first menu item, SSD info, and you stop pressing there, you'll get more information on your SSD. Pressing once will bring you back to the home screen. The second menu item is more information about the enclosure itself. The third menu item is monitor. So once you open this, you get a graph for the temperature and the power consumption in volts of the enclosure. And for the final item, if you press long enough, you get to config DFU. And I'm pretty sure this is used for flashing the enclosure if you want to upgrade the firmware. You actually need to get the firmware version from their website, and you have to email them, so that's a bit weird. Maybe a bit protective of their firmware. Now let's do some speed tests. So results are in, and we have speeds of up to 8 gigabits per second, which is 1 megabyte per second. It's quite speedy. With something like this, I should be able to easily transfer footage or games from a laptop, a phone, to my PC in a few minutes, so that's going to be really useful. So here are my thoughts about this product. You're definitely paying a premium just to have a screen on an enclosure. If you're just looking for the cheapest enclosure, you probably can get something of the same size for half a price or a third of a price without the screen. Now, if you do want to have the screen with the additional features, or pay a bit extra for the photography edition or the mobile edition with the MagSafe, then go for it. But to be fair, if you or your friends owns a 3D printer, you could probably get away by buying the cheaper version and then 3D printing an adapter to make it compatible with your device. But now if you're looking for like the top performance for your SSD enclosure, you might consider a USB 4.0 with 40 gigabit per second transfer rate. I think tech should be fun, and for me this definitely has a wow factor. I'll probably be pairing the photo edition with my phone to shoot some footage and use the original one maybe with Linux or as a companion, like carrying it with me. It's light enough and small enough to just slip in a bag, so it's great. Alright, that's it. Subscribe to the channel and let me know down below if you think that adding screens to everything is a good idea.